The idea of a beach read is a pretty well-known concept in books. Something that is easily digestible but still engaging, maybe something with a vacation-y vibe. Something you can whip through while lying on the beach, pretending to watch your kids while they poke jellyfish and make substandard sandcastles. This concept hasn't really transferred to video games, though, and not just because sand and Steam Decks don't really mix. AAA games today are either adrenaline-filled bullet fests, epic adventures filled with drama, or serious simulations. Even on the indie side, you're more likely to get a deeply felt depiction of generational drama or a meditation on death than you are a breezy saunter on your way to, pet puppies. Enter Botany Manor by Balloon Studios and Whitethorn Games. You aren't a prophesized savior or a grizzled veteran, just Arabelle Green, a retired woman in late Victorian England who is returning home to her family manor to finish research on her book about botany. To do this, you'll need to piece together clues collected from your years as a researcher and explorer to bring back to life roughly a dozen plants whose growth requirements, frankly, prove that God didn't really want them to flourish anyway. Fans of traditional point-and-click adventures and early 3D games will be pretty familiar with the interface, combining inventory items and rotating objects to discover clues. The puzzles themselves are for the most part approachable and logical, assuming you've found all the clearly marked clues around the manor, and scale nicely in difficulty as you progress through the game's 5 chapters. The in-game journal, here called your herbarium, compiles your clues and carefully balances being hand-holding versus being useless. If the brief in-book note doesn't help, it reminds you where you found the original clue, which gives you an excuse to keep wandering around the grounds and maybe finding some new clues or some of the little bits of extra storytelling in the form of postcards from family members, letters from snooty botany professors, and mementos from Arabelle's life of adventures in search of hard-to-find specimens, like non-snooty botany professors. The whole vibe of Botany Manor is almost literally pastoral, with a soundtrack that combines natural sounds and composed music that would not be out of place at a small, locally owned garden supply store. The graphics are slightly dated, but are well composed and keep the system requirements down to could run on a potato level, which fits Balloon and Whitethorn's model of inclusivity and building a broader audience for gaming. The whole game can be completed in about 3 hours, although there are some secrets squirreled away that reward thorough players. The plants you're bringing to life are unique to Botany Manor, but are based on real botanical research of the time, with just a dash of magical nonsense that increases as the story progresses. The B story around sexism in the 1800s science community is peppered throughout, but isn't a central feature in the plot, although it does contextualize the ending in a satisfying you go girl kind of way. Botany Manor is the rare game that would best be played on a bench overlooking a pond, or maybe a solarium if you've got one handy. People looking for a relaxing agrarian gaming experience without all the Stardew Valley baggage could do a lot worse than Botany Manor. Puzzle game fans will likely not be challenged too much, but sometimes it's not about being challenged. Sometimes it's about puttering around in your palatial mansion, raising bizarre plants in between tea breaks, and politely shoving it in the faces of snooty botany professors. Botany Manor was reviewed on PC, but is also available on Nintendo Switch and the Xbox series of consoles.